All right, Libra, welcome back. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Today we're going to do your June 2021 Love Situationship Tarot reading. And we just went through a series of eclipses. Eclipse season is officially done, thank God. And the eclipses happened on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. That was late May, early June, just not too long ago, a few weeks. And for you, Libra, this is happening in your 3rd and 9th houses. Sagittarius is 3 signs past Libra. And the lunar eclipse in Sag has a lot to do with feelings and emotion, and especially the way you communicate. The 3rd house is all about communication. It's about marketing and selling. It's about learning. It's also about channels of transportation and technology generally. Mercury, planet of the 3rd house, the lord of the 3rd house, has been retrograding in Gemini in its home sign for the last few weeks. It's finally going to move station direct tomorrow. I'm doing this video on June 21st. Tomorrow is June 22nd. So Mercury's going to be standing still in the sky. And whenever planets are not moving in the sky, they're extremely powerful. So tomorrow, over the next couple of days, could be a very confusing time. There could be a lot of miscommunication, and the truth might be revealed. And I'm telling everyone this because it's just a very potent time for Mercury. It's going to start moving forward again, but we're really not out of the Mercury retrograde phase for another couple weeks. So it's got to move through its shadow phase yet. So we got a little bit to go on this particular retrograde cycle. Now, the solar eclipse also happened in Gemini. There was a lot happening in this Gemini house. And again, this is in your 9th house. Gemini is 9 signs past Libra. These are trines. You guys are of the same element. They're both air signs. So generally, this is pretty good. But when Mercury is going retrograde in its home sign and you're having a solar eclipse in that same sign, things could get really shaken up at the 9th house. The 9th house has everything to do with your personal beliefs, idealism, spirituality and religion, gurus and mentors in your life, higher education, and long-distance travel. And the solar eclipse marks the new beginning. So eclipses are always big endings, big beginnings, and it takes about 6 months for this energy to really reveal itself. But overall, some of you, a typical manifestation of this, some of you might be graduating. It's graduation season, right? Even though it's June, some of you may have just finished up some brushing up on job skills, and now you're going to go and put that into practice in the workplace, which would be very beneficial for you because Venus, the planet of money, love, romance, can also represent sex and cooperation as your ruling planet, is sitting in your 10th house of careers. So if you did any work on the job front, brushing up on skills, learning new skills, it's now time to put that into practice, and you could see some big benefits in the career sector because Venus is this benefic planet. It's sitting in Cancer where she's very comfortable. That's the dog. Oh, wow. You okay, buddy? Come here. He had a little bit of a sneeze attack. Allergies are bad. Oh, poor guy. He might come over and say hi in a little bit. He's tired. Cracking up. Oh, sorry. So Venus is in your 10th house of career. This is really great. Maybe you want to change career. This could be a promotion. This could be something that leads to something really great in the future. So perhaps there's a cash influx. Perhaps there's a new clients that are coming in, or you land a new client. And again, with this 3rd house, lunar eclipse, marketing and selling is huge. So now it's time to put yourself out there, promoting yourself, publishing, anything to expand the mind, to expand your business, to broaden your horizons, pays off in dividends now or in the next 6 months. So put those wheels into motion. That's some really great energy overall for you. Venus, before it leaves Cancer, it's at like the 22nd, 23rd degree of Cancer today. She's cruising right now. She's moving full steam ahead. Today, she's making a trine over to nebulous Neptune, which is sitting over in Pisces. And for you, Libra, that is your 6th house. And the 6th house has to do with work, health, routine, mundane affairs, pets, it has this element of service and bondage. So if you feel like you're a slave to anything, or bound to something that requires an extraordinary amount of work, that's the 6th house. Jupiter, this planet of expansion and growth, is now going to be retrograding. It is retrograding as of this weekend through Pisces and then shortly into Aquarius, into that 5th house of romance. So things could be coming up on the romance front. Anything that you've put into motion over the past 7 to 8 months, now you got to deal with all those karmic ties and karmic bonds that you've created over that time period, because Jupiter is a planet of karmic justice. So, anything dealing with everyday life and romance, it's going to come up for you as Jupiter goes through its retrograde cycle over the next 4 months. This one is going to be interesting because Jupiter rules Pisces, and Pisces has this ethereal type spiritual element to it. It's about compassion and empathy, but it really is a sign reserved to the universe to align us to where it is we're going. So just kind of go with the flow with this one. It's going to be weird. But my point before I got into this whole thing with Pisces is Mercury is going to start moving forward again, and it's going to come up to this Venus is trining Neptune. I'm getting all my transits mixed up today. Venus is trining Neptune. Venus is sitting in that 10th house. Neptune is sitting over in your 6th house of career and work. So this could be something that could be, you could feel really good about, over the top about. It feels like maybe your dream is coming true. And then something happens because Venus keeps moving forward through Cancer, and it's going to hit in opposition to alchemical Pluto. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. It's things unseen, it's secrets. It can represent passion and relationships, but it can also be something pretty unseemly and dark at times too. And when Venus and Pluto get together, this has to do with relationships. So something with work for you could come up that you think is a really good deal, for instance, and then something you dig a little bit further and you realize this is not so great, or something a little unseemly comes about that makes you want to back off. It's the same thing in love. So over the last couple days and into this weekend, I would say be careful who it is you decide to hang out with, or perhaps take home if you're single, or even if you're a partner. There's this weird element of romance with Venus and Neptune, and then it gets kind of weird with Venus, Pluto within a couple of days, where you're kind of like, oh, this is not what I signed up for. So I want people to be careful. Venus Pluto can oftentimes represent sexual abuse of women. So I want all of you female viewers to be kind of on guard over the next week and a half, because the Pluto Venus stuff is really difficult, and it can draw you in because it almost feels like magnetic energy, and you got that Venus Neptune coming along, and you're going to be like, oh my god, this is so amazing, and he's so wonderful and like caring and empathetic, and my knight in shining armor. And then you get to his place and it's a complete sty, like he hasn't cleaned since the beginning of COVID, and like something to that effect, where you're just like, this is disgusting. But that is what I see with this transit. It's something to that effect, where you're like, oh, this is just gross. It's unseemly. And you just want to be careful of sexual abuse. Okay, so I want all of you to be aware of that. All right, so that's the general energies going on right now. I know I kind of rambled on about that, but there's some important stuff happening, and those eclipses are big. So it's all about learning, expanding the mind, learning new skills, brushing up on skills to have, a pay raise, essentially. Then Jupiter is going to retrograde in that 5th house, so old lovers might come back over the next 4 months. So I'm warning you all of that. If there's any unfinished business or karma that needs to be sorted out, you're going to be hearing from those people. So, Situationship, here we go. 1 card from the Romance Angels, 6 cards from the Tarot. These are general readings. Messages will not resonate with all of you. Take a look at your rising. Sorry, I have like an itch there. Take a look at your rising, moon, and Venus signs. Sometimes those will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. If you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click the like button and subscribe. It's very much appreciated for me, and it helps the channel, and you get to see more of me. Anyway. All right. here we go, Libra. General energy. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Very nice card. So there's a little bit of self-work here that you need to pay attention to. And the third and the ninth house has to deal a lot with communication and the way you communicate. You tend to be really good with communication. You are represented by the scales, and Venus is your sign, so you tend to be pretty harmonious, the diplomat, the negotiator. But perhaps there's some boundaries here that need to be reassessed, and that has a lot to do with the ninth house. It's going to test those boundaries. It's going to test your beliefs. It's going to test how you idolize yourself and others, and how you fit into relationship with others. So saying love yourself first. All right, let's clarify with the tarot. First card out is the general energy for you. Ooh, the world. Wow. Well, this is interesting. The world is the last card of the tarot. It marks major endings and major beginnings. It could be a culmination of events. It could be windfalls. It could be any number of things. So let's take a look and see what's happening. Second card out is the issue. This is what's going on in your situationship right now. Here you are. Justice. This is the card of Libra. So you're working on something with you, clearly. This is what you're conscious of, what it is you're aware of in your situationship now. Six of Cups, so there's some nostalgia going on here. We'll talk more about that. This is what you're unaware of. This is what you're unconscious of in your situationship. Nine of Swords, obsessive thinking, perhaps on the other side. This is your limitation, the Sun. This is a heavy reading. And the outcome. Okay, here we go. 10 of Cups. Very nice card for the outcome. Okay, so love yourself first. Angels say your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I think this has to do with boundaries. What it is you're willing to put up with. Do you know your value? Have you communicated your boundaries and your value to your other person? That is essential right now. With Mercury going retrograde, it's a time of review, reassessment. Are you communicating your beliefs? Are you communicating your boundaries? First card out is the World. You are going through a major shift. This is the last card of the tarot. This is part of the Fool's journey through the tarot, and it's a culmination of events. It's an ending, but it's also a new beginning. So if you've broken off a relationship recently, you're still dealing with some of the baggage that came with that. Others of you are moving past it. You're in a partnership right now, but you're dealing with some issues with nostalgia. Perhaps with kids, perhaps finding your own happiness, because your issue is your own card. And when I see this, I always say it's time to take a step back and do some introspection and really start to think about what it is you want and what makes you happy, which has to deal with your self-worth. This is the balancing act here. You have cups, you have swords, but you don't have pentacles and wands. So to me, this says you need to talk about what are you passionate about? What gets you going, Libra? You might need to have a talk about intimacy, some of you. And then pentacles, it's the reality of the situation. It's not living pie in the sky. It's not letting emotion take over. You're pretty good about that overall, Libra. You are an air sign after all, so rationality comes easy for you right now. But there's an element here of needing to probably discuss emotion or tone the emotion down a little bit and come back to earth. Be realistic and have a conversation about what gets you going. I mean, that's what a lot of this is about. What you're conscious of. 6 of Cups. So some of you are reminiscing about an ex, or the partner has an ex still around or still thinking about them, or maybe even texting them, something to that effect. The 6 is very much a card of nostalgia, going back in time, feeling the warmth of something from a previous encounter or a previous relationship. So it's putting an end to that. I think that's what this is mostly saying. And some of you may have been going round and round. This is what you're conscious of or what you're unconscious of. So maybe the other person can't stop thinking about you. Maybe they're stalking you a little bit on social media, keeping an eye on you, keep going around and around. Maybe you have an ex that you just can't get rid of. And you're just like, I can't get you out of my life further fast enough. They might be stuck on you. Perhaps this is you being OCD about something. This has an element of obsession, compulsion, staying up late at night, going around in circles, letting your thoughts control you. So it's a thought pattern perhaps that needs to go, and it has to do with the past. Something keeps you hooked from the past or the partner in the past for some reason here. And that limitation is, this is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So when I see it as a limitation, you're not seeing the happiness in the relationship. You're not seeing that outcome that you're hoping for. Is it bringing you vitality? Does it bring you excitement? Some of you might be wanting to have children. There are children in this deck, in this reading. Some of you are deciding whether or not to expand the family, and perhaps one is unsure. This could be a child from a previous relationship. It might be causing some problems in the relationship. You're not really sure what to do with it. But to get through this, I think you have to come back to the rebalancing of justice, of putting things to an end. Jupiter is karmic justice. So, and this is the world is basically an endings card. It's a culmination of events. It's just time to let something go here. It's plaguing someone's thoughts. But to get here, you got to really think about, again, value and boundaries. What are you willing to put up with here? Because once we deal with this, once you get through the past situation, once you allow things to finally end and stop obsessing, then come to probably you got 2 of the best cards in the deck. I mean, the Sun and the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is happiness. It's rainbows. It's all that glitters is gold, right? It's the happy family, the children, the house, the rainbow, emotional fulfillment. There's a lot here. For some of you, this is just, this is not for all of you, it's just for some of you. You're getting divorced and it's finally coming to an end. And you're free. It brings a lot of happiness for some reason. Could have been a really tumultuous divorce. There's a lot of that in this as well. That's not for all of you, it's for some of you. If you're in a current partnership, it's letting something go from the past. It's a situation that just hasn't been healed yet. If you're single, it's realizing your self-worth first, loving yourself first, dealing with the past and that nostalgia that keeps you coming back for whatever reason. It's both of these. You thinking you can recreate it, you got to let that go. Allow a new form of happiness to come in, something that is more suited for you, and then you come to this, the 10 of Cups. I like this reading. It requires a little bit of work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, but you can absolutely do this. You are capable of it. You have a very strong mind, Libra. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Until next time, take care, and we'll talk to you next time.